What's up, everyone? This is DYANAROZAY. Welcome to my channel. Come on in, everybody. I see 90 of you are here, so keep coming in and make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Thank you, everyone, for showing up to discuss the final episode for season 6. So we got part 3 of the reunion tonight, and it was a good reunion. I really enjoyed this reunion. Keep coming in, y'all. I do believe that if you want to become a part of the chat, you will need to be a subscriber for at least 1 minute, okay? And then you can join the chat. Come on in, everybody. Hey, Cookie. What's up, Linda Gamba? How are you guys? Anyone that you see with a purple wrench, those are my moderators. They do an excellent job for me. So make sure that you are paying attention to what they have to say. Okay. Hey, everybody. Yes. What else is going on? If you would like for me to give you a shout out, go ahead and put your city and state into the chat. I'll give you a shout out real quick just to make sure that you guys can hear me. Okay. Press that like button on your way in, please, and thank you very much. If you'd like to become a channel member, there is a link pinned to the top of the page. You can do that too. We have had some good times in the membership, okay? We had a really great conversation on Friday, so I'm enjoying it. Let's see, I see Flint, Michigan. What is up? Hey, Tiffany, how are you, girl? Hey, Indianapolis. I see snowy Chicago. Hello from the DMV. Hey, Indy. Okay, I know a lot of people were traveling to Huntsville so that they can watch the show, right? The podcast with Melody and Carlos King. Hey, Tiffany from Atlanta and Lansing, Pensacola, Florida. Okay, guys, I think you can hear me. That's great. So we are going to get into it, all right? Let me make sure I put up this banner first. We are talking about reality TV, right? TV show that we just watched. It was probably triggering for some people. I shouldn't say triggering. That might not be the right word. But it probably did, poke at people a little bit. Either way, this conversation is for entertainment purposes only. All comments are opinions and it's alleged. Also, I'm going to have people on the panel. And just so that everybody is aware, the comments of anyone that come up on my panel it's not a reflection of me, just so people are aware. Their comments are their comments, mine are mine. And yeah, that's it. Just want to make sure we do that disclaimer, okay? All right. So anyways, y'all, if you did have an opportunity to watch tonight's show, just because I like to see who I'm talking to, put a 1 in the chat if you watched the show tonight. Put a 3 in the chat if you did not watch. We know that they are filming season 7. We got a couple of, hey, everybody. Hey, Miss Jones. We know that they are currently filming season 7, 1. Okay. And you know what? Also, I have missed for the last, I think, 2 weeks, Melody's makeup artist has stopped into the chat. I went back and looked last week and I saw that he had came in to say hi. That is hilarious. I don't know how I keep missing him. But if y'all see him, could y'all let me know just so I can give him a shout out if he shows up today? He's super cool. I don't know how I keep missing him. Okay. So anyway, it looks like the majority of y'all seen it, okay? It was a great show. A lot of what I have been saying about Kiki not wanting to, end her relationship with Tisha, she admitted to that on stage. Now, like I said, some things may have happened, since October, but when we were watching that show, you could tell that was not where her head was. That's not what she wanted to happen, right? And she admitted to that on the stage. And it was actually heartbreaking. You could see that she was wearing her heart on her sleeve during a lot of those scenes. But it picked up exactly where it left off with Melody and Stormi, right? We saw Stormi's mom getting all over, just crazy. I don't like you and da-da-da-da. It was really weird. Now, one of the things that I want to say, hey, LaDawn, one of the things I want to say, a lot of people are saying that she's just like Wanda. When we first had an opportunity to watch Wanda, we got to know Wanda for Wanda, right? When Wanda came onto the show, Wanda was Wanda. We saw that Wanda was very overprotective of Tisha. We all saw that. And she was that way to Marceau. She was like that with Kimmy, whoever. She was going to jump into somebody's face when it came to Tisha. And she didn't give a damn who saw it, who cared, right? One of the things with Betty is that we didn't get an opportunity to really know anything about Betty. She walked onto the show saying, I can't stand Melody. And it really set the wrong stage because for us, the audience, we kept thinking, well, what the hell is the problem? And that's still how I felt after it was all said and done. What the hell was the problem? Okay. Why are we having scenes with Betty? And why is Betty getting all this time on the stage with Melody going back and forth? And Melody was just telling her the same thing. Child, you are old enough to be my mama. Hell, you're older than my mama. I'm not going to argue with you. I don't even know what this is. Why are you coming for me? Then we get a chance to see Stormi say, listen, I like you. I like you despite what my mama is saying and doing right now. I like you. And I love what you built here. This is your shit. This is your platform that we're sitting on, basically. She didn't say it like that, but that's what she meant. This is your platform. And nobody, not even my mama, should get a chance to tear it down, period. However, she said, I wish that you were just more aware of what your fans were doing. And I actually started laughing when I heard her say that, because no offense. No offense, y'all. If y'all listen to me, I'm always saying, why are the fans trying to tear, or not everybody, but why are some of the fans trying to tear down Melody's platform? Like in my head, I'm like, isn't this Melody's platform? If we're a fan of Melody, why aren't we, following the lead she's asking? But sometimes things can even get out of control for Melody because fans are, we're going to take this show off the air, or we're going to black out, whatever these things are, because they don't like what's going on. So I don't think that Stormi may be aware of that, but Stormi, hell, they come from Melody too. It might be a back way of coming in for Melody, but they come from Melody too. They'll try to tear her shit down too. Just an FYI, okay? Keep coming in, everybody. Keep coming in. Thank you. Make sure you hit that like button, please. And thank you. Let's say Linda Gamble said 230 of 35 of y'all have hit the like button. That's not enough. So make sure that you hit that like button, right? So anyways, Stormi said, don't make it about my mama, because that wasn't the problem. Well, we're going to make it about your mama only because, like I said, the fans come for everything. Sometimes without even knowing it, they may be coming for Melody's platform as well. So at the end of the day, that's on that. But Carlos said, listen, it looks like your mother don't like Melody. And then the mama jumps in. Betty comes in and says, listen, you don't like me, I don't like you. And Mel said, I never said I didn't like you. I mean, clearly she don't, but she said, I never said I didn't like you, but there's no love loss here. I don't know you enough to really give a damn either way. And then Carlos asked about Betty's sister, Lisa. And that's when we find out that Lisa didn't want to participate because Lisa does not like Betty either. Betty's just a hard person to be a part of, right? Just a hard person to like. So it is what it is. Next, we get a scene from Nil and Chris Fletcher. I'm trying to look in the chat and see if you guys had anything to say about that first part. But how about I do this? Why don't I go ahead and put the invite link up just to make sure that we have y'all on stage and ready to go when I open up the panel. Okay. Come on in. Welcome, everybody. I appreciate y'all coming in. 482 of you right now are watching. Make sure that you hit the like button, okay? Become a subscriber. And I am about to pin the link for the stream. And if you want to come up, you are welcome to do so. We'll talk about everything that y'all saw. And I'm going to replace the pin. Here we go. So that is the panel. If you'd like to join the panel, that is pinned for everyone right now. So next we go into Chris and Nell Fletcher, you guys. We finally get their their information. And you guys can line up in the back, and I'll bring you up as soon as I get finished with the wrap up, and we can talk about it. But they do this little cutesy thing with Marceau saying that he didn't know Nell owned a daycare. And then we get a flashback of the family scene where they were at the dinner table, Chris, Nell Fletcher, and their children. They showed us the interaction between Nell and Chris Jr., but they didn't show us anything between Nell and Lexi. And I'm thinking that maybe Lexi is done with this show, which I feel sad about. I know this is her real life and that she is, she's really living these things out with her family. So it can be a lot to have it on TV as well. I am very aware of that. But I also think that it is, it's a real situations that family have, and people were really passionate about what they saw on screen. The fans were. So it's unfortunate that they did not get to talk about Lexi, but out of respect, I think she may have asked not to be a part of the reunion or any conversation. So we didn't get any of that. I just wanted to make you guys aware. And I hope that, they can work things out and maybe we can see more of their story. Okay. Nell actually said the reason why she was hesitant to come on Love and Marriage Huntsville, full throttle, is because of her family. She said, I know that they can be a lot. I love them, but I know that they can be a lot. She talked a little bit more about her son and, giving them, money and other things. She was like, she knows that her kids, they're entitled to her stuff, her money. She said they don't come to their dad for money and things like that. And Chris won't give it to him. But she said, I will. And at the end of the day, I can get upset, but they're still my children. I still love them. And to keep the peace, I'd rather just, let it, fall by the wayside. I don't want to keep, going on with those conversations. Right. They also talked about the Black Expo and, what was going on between you and Tisha. She said, listen, Tisha invited us. And then she turned around and we weren't there. We have been in this community for a long time. Huntsville is very small. Everybody says Huntsville is a small community. Tisha knows that the Fletchers are part of this show. So her not inviting them seemed really weird. Tisha lied about it though. She just basically said, I'm not friends with Nell or Chris. So I didn't invite him. It is what it is. What else went on? They also talked about Chris and Nell's infidelity. Or I should say Chris's infidelity. Carlos asked, how did she find out that Chris was cheating? Nell said that someone told her about it. Carlos King said, was it the other woman who told you about it? She said, no, it was somebody else though, just another person. And once they told me, I didn't let up until I found out what I needed to know. She said that divorce was not an option for her. She said she loved Chris too much. They were separated for about 18 months, but it was not an option for her. She also said that she saw a lot of Chris in Martell when she was counseling Melody and Martell during their hard time. She said, I saw Chris all up and through Martell. He is arrogant as hell, okay? The clothes, the cars, whatever, the bitches on the street. He basically thought that he has a whole bunch of women who are out there in the street who is looking at him and admiring his lifestyle and basically feeling like Melody should just accept whatever it is that he's bringing home because there's another one that could replace her. And he found out the damn hard way, okay? That's not really what he wanted because he's still begging her to, bring that relationship back. But she said, listen, Martell was Chris. I saw it. And Melody said, yes, she used to cry and everything. So all of that emotion that we used to see coming from Nell Fletcher was her saying, I know who you are, and I'm trying to beat this devil out of you. What happened after that? Mel basically co-signs it and says, listen, this is, they have been real friends to us. They've always been genuine to us, and that they have never asked us to choose sides. So that was interesting. I really like that they gave us just a little more insight on Martell's arrogance and the fact that Chris used to be Martell. She said that out loud. These two were two peas in a pod. And yeah, that was interesting. I like that part. What else went down? We get a flashback of the pregnancy test with Tisha and Marceau. Martell sneaking a woman in the house after midnight. Melody saying that Martell had never given her a big O. Okay. Um, then we have Martell screaming that Mel cheated too, and then Kiki arriving at the house in Houston and the bonfire, right? So they jump right in with Martell and asking him about that woman being the massage, the person coming in that he said was there to give him a massage. Why were you sneaking strange women into the house? Martell said she was there to give me a massage. We didn't have any sex, okay? She was just there to give me a massage. Everybody starts giggling like that was funny. Carlos said, did that offend anyone? Kimmy said, it didn't offend me because these two are over. They are Splitsville done. There's nothing to be offended about. Okay, Kimmy, whatever. There's something about Kimmy that's a weirdo right here. I'm gonna let y'all talk about it and I'll share it for my sister review. But Nell said she was offended. She said that she thought it was stupid and dirty for her to bring someone in the house. I guess Kimmy might have thought that Nell was ragging on Martell too much. So she ends up saying, well, Mel, didn't you get a massage too? And she said, yeah, but mine came with a massage table. Okay. And I travel all the time. And when I travel, this is what I do, Kimmy. Thank you very much. Well, Martell said, well, who did you use for a masseuse? And she said, why, you want to use my answer? Is that it? And then she said, there's an app called I think she said ZELLE, ZEEL. And Carlos said, I know that. That's what I said, Dyana. Carlos King said, I know that app well. And she said, mm-hmm. And Martell tried to play it off. Well, yeah, that's the app I use. Martell is a mess. But then they jump back into the cheating conversation. Martell is saying, what year did you say you cheat? And what's going on with you? And Melody said, are you talking about 2012, 2015? He said, oh, so you're admitting it? Mel said, if you know that I cheated, Martell, what proof do you have? And he offers none. This is a conversation that's been going on forever. Carlos King basically says, listen, it's been 6 years. There's nothing else to say here. We are beating a dead horse. Melody said, no, you brought it up. Go ahead and let him finish, okay? What proof do you have? And Martell's just sat there looking cheap like he usually does. If you have proof, this would be the time to give it. I mean, at the very minimum, we all heard Destiny on the reunion season 5 talk about, don't let me tell the truths that I hold about you. Well, clearly you told those truths to your good buddy, Martell. So why wasn't he rattling them off if they were true? Period. None of that happened. And so for the person who used to come into my comments every single day and tell me, you're not looking at this the right way, Melody's cheating, child, what's your thoughts on this now, okay? What's your thoughts on how you used to try to get me or convince me that it was Mel who was the problem? Because it sounds like Martell spread a whole bunch of rumors about an ex-wife he still wants back, by the way. He still wants back, and everybody busted his ass out on it. But it jumps from that conversation to Martell saying something like, I used to talk to you for a year. I was telling you what I needed. And then I ended up getting with one person. And that's the only person I've ever been with. He says something to that extent. But this only person he claims he's ever been with is a person he does not even claim, right? Doesn't claim her as a girlfriend, doesn't claim her as a wife, doesn't claim her as damn it anything. So either way, he's catching an L and he's catching it at his own admission, okay? Carlos changes the subject and said, listen, the viewers didn't like that you were all up in Nell's face, that Martell was all up in Nell's face, screaming and yelling. And he says point blank to Chris, why did you let that happen, okay? Why did you let that happen? Chris said, it's because I see them as brother and sister, right? I see them as brother and sister. Mel jumps right in and said, I told Chris from the beginning, because I've seen this before, Martell should not be in your wife's face. It is disrespectful. I would never do that to you, okay? And I call you and Nell friends. I would never do that to you. Not to mention, you guys are our elders, and it's not a good look. Martell just sat there again looking cheap, but he said, listen, there's things that Nell's doing to me. And, even Chris says to me, when we're out of the company of Nell, that's who she is. She just fusses all the time. She fusses at me. She fusses at the kids. That was a dirty dog thing to do for Martell to, basically call Chris out and make it seem like, well, he and I have discussed it man to man and I can do what I want. That's what it sounded like to me. It was dirty, dirty, dirty. Chris doesn't say anything. He didn't say anything on the reunion. He may go back to being called Mr. Nell Fletcher, okay? Nell Fletcher's husband, just like Simone Biles' husband. I'm tired, okay? But he doesn't say anything on the stage. And Martell does apologize, but he said, you're all up in our business. She said, I've been in your business and you invited me there. Okay. And he said, well, not on that day. And that seemed to break the tension a little bit. People started laughing. Then we jump into Kiki and Tisha and the Houston trip. Carlos asked Tisha if she felt blindsided by Kiki being on the trip. And Tisha said, yeah, I did feel blindsided. Everybody knew I didn't want her to be there. So her being there really did hurt me. Kiki said, I was there because I wanted to apologize to Tisha because I shouldn't have threw water in her face. And then she said, or anybody's face. It was a weird apology to say that. I didn't want to throw water in her face or anybody's face, but I also wanted to have a good time. Now, I don't know. I still think that Kiki is nervous. She's still trying to get her sea legs on the show. I'll say that. And sometimes people say things that might not feel 100%, but she does have real moments in this scene. But when she made the comment, I wanted to apologize to her, but I also wanted to have a good time too. Like that was my other purpose from being there. They pan Melody, or excuse me, the camera showed Nell Fletcher's face, and Nell actually looked like she was like just done with Kiki. And I realized in that moment that Kiki has like two fan bases. She's going to have people that really like her, and that she has people that don't like her, that just she rubs them the wrong way. And that's what Nell Fletcher's face was giving in that moment. But Tisha just goes on to say, listen, I'm done with Kiki. I don't want to have any more relationship. This relationship is dead. I don't want to have anything else to do with her. Kiki is asked if she sacrificed her friendship or her family by being on the show. And Kiki said, I don't think so, because it didn't happen that way. Tisha promised me that she was going to bring me on the show. She said that she was going to bring me on here, and then she switched up. She changed up, and she didn't bring me on. So she basically said, I found another way to do it. That's when Tisha says, I had every intention to bring you onto this show, but I didn't think you were ready. I talked to our family. I talked to Kimmy and Maurice. I knew some things, and I tried to put myself in your shoes. And I said, no, I wouldn't want you to do that because I felt it would ruin your family. Kiki says there's only two things that was going on with me. Those are the biggest things that I have going on in my life. And that was my addiction with prescription meds, and then also the infidelity in my marriage, because that goes deep. Okay. While she's saying this, Tisha and Marceau are making faces and saying, you got way more than that, child. Tisha's not done with Kiki. She was about to cry. Thank you for saying that, Ty. I do feel like both of them are still hurt. Her voice did crack. She was shaking a little bit, trying to get herself together. I agree with you. But Marceau and Tisha are giving each other looks, and Martell says, is that all there is? Then you hear Marceau kind of mouth, hell no, that's not all there is. And Kiki's looking at them, and while she's looking at them, she wears her feelings on her sleeve, you guys. You can see everything on her face when it's happening in real time. And she's outdone. She's like, what else? What else? Tell it. What else is it that you know? And Marceau says, let the record show that I have never brought anybody's business to this show that didn't want their business brought to this show. Okay. So he tries to act like he's the stand-up dude, right? Now, a lot of people were saying, well, didn't you bring the addiction stuff to the show? Isn't that how we found out about it? You guys, correct me if I'm wrong, someone made me remember, but wasn't that a conversation that Melody and Kiki had about that situation, and that's how we all found out that it was going on, because Melody and Kiki were speaking out loud, with Melody saying, he told me about it. So if you guys remember it differently, let me know, but I don't think he actually said it. I think it started with Melody and Kiki discussing it. Either way, he tried to act like he was being a big man by saying that I don't do that, that's not what I did. Okay, BS, because you continue to bring up stuff. I mean, we just heard you in the last episode talk about her robbing her supplier. You brought that to the platform without saying it, okay? Without anybody bringing up. So he's a liar. Marceau, you absolutely have aired people out. You did bring that to the platform. Thank you, Queen. Excuse me, bless Queen B. I appreciate you for sharing. The one thing I want to do, y'all, everybody who is here, we are going to start taking a walk down memory lane from first season all the way till season 6. I want to make sure that we all are on the same page before we get to season 7. I know a lot of people are saying they are trying to figure things out with season 7, but let's do that and just start, kind of bringing these stories together, since there's so much out there. But I know a lot of people were saying, it was Marceau who brought it to the show. It was Mel and Kiki. That's their introduction. That's how we get Kiki on the show, okay? So anyway, not that Marceau is innocent, though. Never that. Never that. He absolutely blasted Kiki on that stage several times. They had that conversation last week, like I said, about you know, the robbing of the supplier mess. And they also talked about, I think in this episode, Kiki, you blocked our daughter in your daughter's phone. So they say a lot of stuff that they try to act like it's innocent, but it's not innocent. Okay. Ty, yes, honey, we're going to do it from season 1. Absolutely. It is going to be a good time. Okay. We're going to have drinks. We're going to have panel discussions, and it's going to happen not in the back room, on the front room. Okay. Just so you are aware. But anyways, Kiki is asked, did I already say that? Kiki's asked how she feels about her cousin, if she wants to reconcile. And she says, of course I do. She said, I did not want this to happen at all. You could tell that she was heartbroken. I almost cried. I ain't gonna lie. I felt bad. I felt bad. And I've been saying this to y'all for a minute. She wanted that relationship to be okay. She did want them to heal, and it didn't happen. And then she also admits, and you could tell that this is a very genuine moment with Kiki. She said, I go low, and I know I do. And I hate that I am that way, but it's just who I am in that moment. And I guess she feels, because you feel like your family should know you better or have some, grace for you. And you could tell in that moment that she was like, I wish Tisha had grace for me, because she knew that I have, a bad temper, that sometimes I can go off the handle. But I love Tisha, and I really did not want our friendship or our familyship to end because of this. Okay. So that was my opinion. Y'all can share with me what y'all think when y'all come up on the panel. They also talk about that crazy ass pregnancy test storyline that really isn't worth discussing. Marceau gives some sort of analogy between Tisha being capable of stepping out on him versus probable. Okay, the same mess that he said on the show. But Mel basically says, listen, at the end of the day, if Tisha was pregnant, would you leave her? And he says, absolutely. And the whole time he's talking, probably the most interesting thing about that scene is Mel is disgusted by Marceau, because she knows things, right? So she's looking at him disgusted because Marceau has a different set of rules for Tisha than Tisha has for him, or that he even has for himself. So all in all, that was the end of that story. And then lastly, they are coming back from commercial, and they're getting their makeup touched up, their hair done, and you could see that Kiki is really bothered. She is hurt, okay? And she said, you one lying ass bitch, okay? I mean, she put the B in bitch. She said, you are one lying ass, and you could tell she wanted a piece of Marcel. And Marcel is sitting there taunting her with that smirk on his face, like, You don't even know that they're about to play this scene. You hear Martell in the background, kind of, we're live, we're on camera, like them cameras are rolling, boo. Like he's trying to get her to snap out of it. But also, I feel like Martell is kind of happy about this because now he's not the only one who's, acting up. But she's pissed. She's hurt. And she's like, I'm a streetwalker, bro. Is that how you feel? Is that how you feel? And then finally, Carlos King gets it together and welcome back, blah, 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 blah. She's still sitting there. Carlos says, thank you so much, Kiki. I really appreciate you being on. Thank you to the Fletchers for what y'all brought to the show this season. Gives everybody their props and said this is one of the best reunions we have ever had. Everybody came to the table ready to work, giving us your true thoughts and feelings. He also says that Courtney and Chris are not cousins. He gives the big reveal. He says Maurice is a millimeter, right? And you can tell that when Kiki thought that scene was over, she hopped up out of that damn seat and she left because Carlos gets off the stage. And we don't actually always see this, but they end up showing us, they're pulling Kiki's chair and they are showing us that everybody is giving each other hugs to wrap up. And they immediately pose for the picture and there's no Kiki. So a lot of us were asking, where is she? Why is she not on this stage? And it looks like she probably was so in her feelings about what just happened. Tisha saying she doesn't want to be cousins anymore. When we know damn well that Tisha is hurt too, but she really tried to play it off. Talk about you ain't gonna cross this line. You might have got me that first time, but you won't cross this line. Okay. Anyway, that's how it ended, y'all. So, that was a lot. Anywho, I'm bringing y'all up right this minute, okay? Hey, Simone. I'm bringing y'all up. Make sure that you stay muted until I... Go ahead and... Oops.
Uh-oh. Hey, Dyana, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Uh-oh, did I do something?
Yeah, mute up, okay? Okay, so what I want to also say is if you have me playing in the background, I'm going to need you to turn that off because my voice comes over as an echo. So I'm just going to bring you up and say hi, but you don't have to unmute until after, okay? So I just said, bless Queen, what's up? Lady D Keys, what's up? LaDawn, what's up? I believe it's Shadiah. How are you? And then Girlfriend Chronicles, how are you? Okay. Let's see. Thank you so much for blessing the channel, Miss L. Fisher. She said Tisha lied and quilted stories together and passed them off as truths. Okay. Well, child, it won't be the first time. Am I right? Thank you for blessing the channel. And yes, if you guys would like to donate, you can, just like my girl did there. Okay. 472 of you are watching or in the chat, 899 of you are in the chat, 472 likes. So make sure that you keep hitting that like button, okay? All right, we are going to go with Miss Simone first. Welcome to the channel, Miss Simone.
Good evening. How are you all? Hey, chat and panel. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Okay. First things first. I really want them to remove Carlos as a host. He is so biased. And I don't know. I know they do a lot of editing. You know, they can't fit everything in, but I think that we need someone who doesn't have a horse in the race. We need someone who's totally unbiased to all involved and just look at it with just unbiased eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Second, Martell. He's just slow. He's slow and disrespectful. The whole exchange with Mrs. Fletcher, it was just disrespectful at his big grown age. You know, it's just the way that you should be able to. I don't care if you do consider this person a sister or whatnot. You know, they've counseled you. They try to counsel you. It's just a respect level that should be there. You know, it shouldn't be no hooping and hollering, but you know, we know what his issue is. He is who he is. No excuses. You know, I don't believe he should be on the show. That's just me personally because of, you know, everything that's going on, the real things that are going on. Tish. It's she's just a I don't know. I used to have somewhat of respect for her when the first seasons. I felt sorry for her. I just don't anymore. I mean, just between her and her husband, they're just huge liars. I mean, they're charlatans, with their businesses. They get to basically, whatever spell the Snots and Martell have on Carlos, he just allows them to do whatever. I mean, it is pathetic. No one cares about that pregnancy storyline. That was false from the time it left her lips. No one believed it. Who cares? And no one, not only do we not believe it, no one cares. I don't care. I don't care. Just, I know they want to keep Marceau because he's, who he is. Um, between her and Kiki, the Kiki, I don't know. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. I just let them resolve their relationship off the show. I don't care. I understand there's some real feelings here and there, but you only got to tell me more than you don't even got to tell me more than once that you don't want to be cool with me. You don't have to keep telling me and reiterating it. We're done. I don't care if our kids are friends or not. I don't care what bloodline runs between us. You can't continue to disrespect someone and do things, and have your husband interfere in our relationship and think we're going to have a good relationship. This has nothing to do with, her issues in the past issues with drugs. I just think it's a toxic relationship. Sometimes you need to end things and you need to make them final. And they both need to realize that. It may hurt, but you can get over that. You can move past it, and maybe years down the line, it can come back together. But right now, I would be done. I would not put no more energy into any of it in that relationship. And they're just, hypocrites. Okay, Kimmy and Hips. Why they? I don't even know why they shouldn't have been on the stage. Period. They were waste. Betty Kruger. Betty is a evil nut. She is a nut. She is beyond evil. She is devilish. That woman is something wrong with her. And Lisa, in my opinion, has every right to distance herself from that witch. That woman is evil to be as old as she is. Something is terribly wrong with her. And bottom line at the end, I'm just glad it's over. I'm glad it's over. They need to honestly, they need to take a year hiatus. They don't need to bring this show back on until November this year. I'm sick of the whole Huntsville everything. I'm sick of Carlos. I'm sick of all the mess that's going on. I want the issue to see how far this court thing is going to go, with the charges on Hotel. I'm sick of this whole franchise. I'm sick of them. I love Melody. I love everything about her. I support her businesses. But if they're going to keep bringing this bullshit on here with them being able to lie and make up stuff that no one believes, the one thing I can say, and I don't know for a fact, but I think I've heard this around, Bell Collective has to have a different set of producers because it comes off, although I don't like everything I see on there, it's believable. That some of those men, they are who they are, and they are telling their truths. So with Cliff, we can't understand what he says half the time, but I know that man's real. I know he's telling his truth. So this here, I'm sick of, Marcel or Marceau and all and Tish thing. But to me, they need to drop Kim and Maurice. Drop them. They don't even need to be friends of the show. They need to bring someone else fresh and stop getting these people who automatically hate Mel. Go look at their social media before you put them on that damn stage, because I'm sick of everyone just coming on just to go at her. And what's her face? What's the girl's name? Stormi. No, honey, we don't believe what you're saying. She and her mama feel the same way about Mel. She's just trying to make it seem nice because she gonna get her ass chewed out if she says anything different. She was hating on her that whole tweet thing. No, 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 no. She was hating on her before then. She was just looking for a way to make it look like Mel had did something to her, because we all found out that she was cool and friendly with what's the name? The bird. Okay. So we knew that prior to that. So no, you can keep that little lie to yourself. It sounds good, but no, that ain't it. And everyone knew when Mel tweeted that shit out, she was talking about Destiny. Well, no one thinking about no damn Stormy. We
Okay.
were thinking about Destiny, and that's it. I'm sorry.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you, Simone. I appreciate you for sharing your thoughts about tonight's episode, child. It looked like everything is a no-go for Simone. She is done with the show. That's her feelings about it. Um, but yeah, that was entertaining. Okay, let's see. We're going to bless Queen B. What is up, girl? How are you?
I'm good, Diana. Hi, good night, Diana, and chat and mods and those on the panel.
So, what do you rate the episode first? First. I should have asked that of Simone. I'm sorry about that. What do you rate the episode?
I rate the episode. For me, it's a 10 because there is so many learning lesson in each and every aspect and each and every one of the those who were there up on the panel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'll start where they end with Melody and Stormy Mom. It shows that Melody was brought up right, and she know what respect is all about. Stormy mother, I understand her, and I don't agree with her. And why I can say that right now, I'm on my job. I take care of the elderly. I'm a home health aide.
Mm-hmm.
Right now being in school. And for those who don't know, please, it is easy to sit and talk, but it's very hard and strenuous to have a marriage, a family life, and have a parent or parents, and you have many siblings, and you are the only one making the sacrifice to attend to your parent. Is not easy. It affects you mentally, it affects you emotionally. So with that, I can understand Betty. I don't agree with how she deal with it, but I understand what she's going through, how she and Lisa come about, and whatever there are more to be uncovered
Okay.
with regards to she and Lisa. As I said, her method of approach and how she handled it, and then being a home health aide, you sit down on your phone and you get on Facebook, you get on WhatsApp, you get on Instagram, and now this is where she gets
So,
into things that she have no right to
bless
be
Queen.
in.
Bless
Yes.
Queen. Let me ask you this question. I appreciate this opinion too. Um, in my head, I was thinking, okay, when I remember there was a scene where Stormy says, "My mama used to read like I think she said like three books from cover to cover a week. I think she said something like that. My mama used to read books all the time and magazines all the time, and now all she does is stay on social media. Like,
Yeah.
and she said because she has become engulfed in the social media world, she can't get her out of it. And we didn't really get to dive into that part, but I do remember her saying it. I remember her saying it and thinking, her mother's older and she has, I don't want to be mean, but sometimes you can get yourself wrapped into social media and
Oh
the
yes,
media
and that
world
is
is
what
not
happened. She
real.
really did not continue. She really, Stormy really did say that her mother used to read, but
Yeah,
getting engrossed in this social media thing because, as I said, because if I was not in school full time, I would be more engrossed because I have Instagram, I have Facebook, I have TikTok, I have, you
right.
understand what I'm saying? And you get so caught up in the different content creator and this one saying this and everybody because you look at a content a creator or a blogger put out a headline, you subscribe and they put out a headline and just the headline is grabbing and you get into it and you get so wrapped up that sometimes reality
And she said that. She did
can
say that.
truly get get you tie up and mix up with what's going on. That's why I said I understand. I may not agree with everything that Miss Betty is doing, because when it come into she come in at Melody, Miss Betty, no, no, no. That is capital N-O screaming. Stay in your lane. But she do not know how to differentiate and how to separate social media, and
Okay.
now she get on the reality TV. No, Miss Betty.
Let me
Nope,
say
nope, nope, nope.
something. I actually like that as a storyline for her if she was going to use it than anything else, because I remember Stormi saying it, and because I almost said, "Whose mama is on Twitter like that?" But then the second I said it, I went, "Damn it!" She actually told us that she was like, "I don't know who this woman is anymore. She used to read like books from cover to cover, what 2-3 books a week, and now all she does is hang out on that social media, and she's wrapped herself so much up in the social media world that."
Yep.
Being on the show, she's not able to separate herself from social media.
No,
And
no,
so,
no.
for
So,
sure.
that I wish Miss Betty would step back
Hmm.
with that. And Stormy, I understand what you're trying to say, but what you're trying to say is not correct.
Okay.
Yes, again, subscribers did come at her. And if we want to be honest, subscriber went in at her, because a lot of us, I at first, when Melody made the post, it take me maybe a couple hours later on watching and reading and understanding, started to go in at Stormy, because at first she was not clear. And because she wasn't, I still have my Stormy. Before I even started watching Love and Marriage Huntville, I have Stormy product here, and I keep it. I refuse to use it out, because I want to keep it as evidence that I had bought Canvas Beauty before Love and Marriage Huntville, and I was part of, the show and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I'm saying that to say this, that Stormy, because you came on the show and your mannerism, Melody have nothing to do with you not sending out your orders and all this kind of thing. You conflating the two and tying them into each other, which is not correct.
Okay. Okay.
So
So,
that, go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, I was going to say, what was your thoughts on her saying, "Melody, I like you. I like you. I like what you built here. This is yours. This is your platform. You did an amazing thing building this platform that they all sit on." And then basically saying that the reason why, now this is an interesting thing. I didn't say this when I talked about it earlier, but she said the reason why Tiffany is leaving right now is because she was bullied by the fans. But what she didn't say is one of the reasons she was bullied by the fans. Okay, I see you, girl. One of the reasons she was bullied by the fans, I don't know if y'all remember this. There was all kinds of rumors that came out about Kiki right before this season or during the season. And it was all kind of, stoked by her cast members. They were
Mm-hmm.
suggesting that she was on something, that her and Marcel had the same dealer, that she was having an affair, that the baby she had wasn't
Lose, baby. Yeah.
And
and
Tisha put that out there.
people were putting the cast put that out there.
Yeah.
Now the fans ran with it and they were making little snide comments, and I remember thinking, oh, this is not going to end well. And then it turned out she had postpartum, and then people started saying, because this also came out, she doesn't have postpartum, she's faking it. I didn't think she was faking it, but to have all of that hit you and have postpartum, that's gonna sink you, you know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah. Oh yeah. And
But that when Stormi said that, I said those rumors, those came from the cast first.
And how
yeah.
was that Mel's fault?
It's not Mel's fault, but she was
No,
trying.
it's not Matt's fault, but she
She
was
was
just
trying to
saying.
use her. She was trying to use Tiffany like, well, the reason Tiffany is leaving now is because of the fans. Now the fans did get ignorant, but the fans were getting ignorant because of the stuff they were hearing come from cast members.
Yeah, and the fans did get ignorant because of also Tiffany's storyline. Because Stephanie always coming to the one who inserting herself in everybody's business, and Let's be clear, it was a form of colorism. Because of her color, she was allowed to say a whole lot of ish. And because of that, the
Mhm.
fans read her a riot act. But did she have postpartum? Yes, she definitely had it. I am sorry that she leave without having that addressed, because there are a lot of parents who relationship, who marriage did not work out of because of postpartum depression. There are a lot of young women who can learn from that. If Carlos only knows some of the gems that he would have gotten from these things that he could, maximize on, because his love and marriage and,
Listen,
his.
I'm gonna tell you, she was very honest about what she was experiencing. She said,
Oh
"Listen, I
yes, yes,
don't
she was,
that
because she wasn't privy to it to her child before, and this is a people thing. I have 7 children, and I did not have it until my last child. I did not want to touch my child.
yeah."
People don't understand how serious it is.
She said
So,
all the things. She did. She was very honest. The scene that she had with Lewis was honest. You're
yep,
on. I have all kinds of thoughts racing through my mind. I have too much on me, having to do the work of, you're not here. I didn't expect you not to be here to help me out. It was a great storyline.
yeah,
And I think it's unfortunate that we didn't get more of it.
yeah,
I also think it was unfortunate that her castmates, the one who was apologizing profusely last week, um, they were the ones who started those lies. I already said, I already told y'all how I felt about it. Y'all can go back and listen to that review.
yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry. I want to make sure I get a hold of everybody. So everyone is welcome to stay up here. I'm just going to move to the next person. I'm going to go to Lady D Keys, because I know you dropped down, and then I'm going to go to who is next. Hold on one
Me.
second. I'm sorry. I think I'm out of order. Sorry about that. I'm going to go to LaDawn next, and then before Girlfriend Chronicles, I think it was Lady D Keys. So LaDawn, welcome to the platform, baby girl. How are you?
I am better. Hey,
Hey,
blessing.
Ladon.
You sound good.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts?
Well, I disagree just a little bit.
Okay.
About Betty.
Okay.
Um, yeah, she's dealing with her mom now, but Betty's um behavior started when they were kids. Her sister kind of said, when we were younger, you used to do things to me. So I think Betty's an evil person. I think because the mom lives with Betty, the sister don't even want to go there because it's just that much turmoil with them. And I think Betty is just a devil,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. And years ago, they didn't have YouTube and all that when she was being mean and the bully to her sister.
Mm-hmm.
So, she can use that excuse now because she can reach different people to do her evilness.
Mm-hmm.
But Betty was always evil. Okay. And so I ain't here for Betty at all. I feel like Betty can go crawl under a barrel of hay on a property. I don't know. But she needs to stay away. She needs
Mm-hmm.
to stay away. This is not her group. This is not her age range. And even everything you said on that stage don't warrant you having all that energy for somebody who didn't do anything to you. And it's easy for Stormy to use Mel as a scapegoat when as a lot of people already stated, there are things that were already going on that you and your mother was doing that turned people off. I know because I'm one of the people
Mm-hmm.
that got turned off before that incident. Um, so I got turned off when she gave Dusty that Parker book. I was like, That was like overkill to me, like butt kisser type of thing. Like, I really, really want to be your friend. Please, 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 please. Like
Mm-hmm.
how you feel, Diana, Kiki's doing with Tisha. I feel like
You say
that's
that one
how.
more time. What did you say?
Like,
How?
I want your relationship so, so bad, so bad. And
Oh,
it's just hurting me that you just don't want me. But I
um,
feel like that makes Kiki a better person, meaning she has more of a heart than Tisha. Because even with Tisha and and Kiki, Kiki didn't do nothing so great to me that they can't come back from. But within time, because people heal different ways and forgive different ways. But it wasn't nothing towards the kid, like something so um messed up that you just can't come back from. These things can be worked out, except for Tisha's mother definitely crossed the line when you talk about somebody should have been AB'd and stuff like that. That's like, we can't come back from that.
mm-hmm.
Um so I think that a lot of people like to play the blame game. And yes, you're right. Mel and Kiki did have that conversation, but the reason why they had that conversation was behind the camera. Tisha and Marceau was telling them that Kiki was an addict and didn't want her. Don't let her in your house. She's gonna steal your stuff, and we don't want her on the show. So the stuff was still being said to block her from the show. So Mel told her, "You need to tell your own stuff because he keeps dangling it over your head, like at that picnic party out there to taste Wanda's food with all the family." He said, "I'll say it. I'll say." He was dangling it, you know. So that's when Mel said to her, "You need, come on and say your stuff before they say it because we already know what they're doing." So um I still feel like if my soul wasn't in the mix of it, these are things that they can come back from. Um,
And I agree with you. And just I agree with you 100%. I just feel, and I felt like this from the beginning, not that necessarily Kiki is um wanting something that Tisha doesn't want. I just know that she did not expect this show to kill her relationship.
no.
Whatever they were building, I believe that she was sincere in saying, I want us to move past this and I want
Hmm.
to show you better because I really do think that they were like super close. I believe
Hmm.
what they told us.
Hmm. I
Yep.
agree. And that's why I hope that they can get to a point where they come back for them two anyway.
Hmm.
So um the only thing, I want to say about um uh was Kimmy.
Hmm.
Kimmy is a real wench. I don't like Kimmy. I don't like Kimmy at all. Kimmy's facial expression, the way Kimmy was playing, like when they asked her that question about did she care if he brought a woman in their house, and she said no. She said it against Mel, in my opinion,
Hmm.
because as a woman, as a woman going out of town with your friends, and you mean to tell me you're okay with a strange woman walking around the house in the
Hmm.
middle of the night?
You better say it.
You okay with that for real? Come
Hmm.
on now, coming from and it's a company of that person's that got the track record that person got. Come
Hmm.
on now. But you said it because, oh well, it's the good guy hotel. You okay, Kimmy? We see you for who you are. Keep showing up as you are, though. We expect it.
Right.
We expect it.
Right.
At this point, you're a case study at your
Right.
big old age. Um, so that's how I feel about her. The Fletchers, I'm happy that they are on the show. I'm glad that Nell stood up to Hotel, like you say things and whatever, but I am so upset with Chris Fletcher not standing up for his wife. Because even if you was my brother, you ain't got no business talking to me like that.
Mm.
Even if you was my brother, uncle, I don't care. You don't talk to me like that. Remember, we learn from the men in our family first, you know? So that's how you do, Hotel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Chris, you're okay with that? That's a good example. So you let your sons talk to your daughters like that?
Right.
Like that's just not cool, you know? So I'm looking at him sideways. Yeah, I think I'm gonna join the other ones when they said they're gonna call him Nell's wife.
Right.
Because that's what he's kind of starting to look
The
like to
other
me.
ones would be me. Okay. At the end
Yep.
of the day, yes. He's losing his title. I didn't like that he let Martell blast his ass out on stage with the, well, Chris and I talk, and he says all the time that you're just the type of person to fuss. And you shouldn't be fussing at a man. You shouldn't be in a man's face. You're missing the point. You shouldn't be in her face.
That's right.
Is old enough to be your, I don't even know how old she is, to be honest. She looks a lot younger than his mother, but at
But
the same time,
still,
you shouldn't be doing it.
you
And this is
shouldn't be
what you
doing it.
said. Exactly. So Martell, when Nell said that Martell was very much like Chris Fletcher and is arrogant as hell, and that he had a lot of the same ways, it put in perspective a picture for me that I
Mhm.
didn't have before. And that
The
is,
only difference, though, Diana,
yes, ma'am.
is Hotel. I mean, um, Fletcher Chris was willing to put the work in to change. He wanted to change.
Correct.
Hotel didn't. He just thought he was too good for his big for his britches.
You're right. You're right. I agree with you. So I'm going to move on just to make sure that we get
Mhm.
everybody in this time, but I appreciate you for coming up and sharing your opinion. And then I'm going to go to Shida. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Shahida.
Shahida. Okay. Very
Yes.
cool. Welcome to the panel. Is your first time up?
No, it's not. It's
Okay.
my name. I changed my name again.
Okay. No problem. No problem. It is Shahida today, girl. So what do you rate the show?
Oh, yes, ma'am. So basically, I'm gonna give it like a 6.
A 6? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6.
What your feelings are.
Okay, so my feelings, the reason why I give it a 6 is because I am just, I guess I'm just like, I love Carlos. I do like his, his shows,
Mhm.
his interviews that he does, but I don't like him moderating these. Um,
Okay, you thought he did a bad job?
yeah, I mean, I just feel like he's not giving everyone enough chances to speak and get their voice out and get their points across. He's given Tisha and Marceau too much time to talk. They're allowed to interrupt, and I'm just in there because we know Marceau was a cheater. I just feel like he's a cheater. There's so much about him. Um, in those, I guess the one guy who came up and was talking about what was that brother's name?
Who?
The barber who previously was
We'll just
dealing with
call it
Marcel.
the barber. Yeah.
Yes, the barber. Okay, so listening to that, he said that him and Marcel had done drugs together.
Mm.
So it's like I have these different points and different things that are happening. It's like I wish Kiki would have brought that up or somebody else, but I feel like all the dirt that Marceau and Tisha are doing just keeps getting swept under the rug. And
But let
I
me
feel
say
like,
this before you go any further.
yes,
I'm going to
yes,
say
yes.
allegedly, because that was
Allegedly.
not on the show.
That's
So
right.
what we know right now is that it's hearsay, and we don't know how Marceau has handled the conversation that the barber has shared. There was supposed to have been some lawsuits and other things happening, but we don't know what's going on. Okay. So we'll say that. But yes.
Yes, so I'm glad you said that. Okay, so allegedly, yes, ma'am. So I just feel like things like that, like they throw out all kind of accusations against everyone, especially Kiki and Stormi, and they're unsubstantiated. But it's like they can say those things, but no one else can. It's like as soon as Stormi and Kiki were getting into what they were saying or having a rebuttal, here comes Carlos interrupting. We're going to pivot this way. We're going to move on. Let them get it out so we can see some resolve, or someone else can have, because I feel like Marceau and Tisha are the only ones who can bring something to the stage, and then everybody else is just like, okay, we got to take it. Like even with Tiffany, they brought those rumors out about Tiffany, but did she get to address anything? I just feel like they just get away with so much, and they really don't have no room to talk about anybody, but they get away with so much, and I'm just tired of it. It's like it's just draining to me, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm going through separation from my
Mhm,
husband,
mhm.
and it's a lot of the same similar situations, possible, even worse, because I don't know if um if Melody's been physically abused. I suspect it, but like we don't know.
He has
And
actually come out and said that is not accurate.
okay, so that's
I
not
forget who
okay.
asked her. It was on one of her lives. She said, "No, that never happened to me, but I have done some things." And then she let it end with that. But
Okay,
that's pretty
okay.
much it.
So I, in my situation, and I don't want to get off into my situation so much, but it's a lot of parallels. It was physical abuse. I did fight back, but not every occasion. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I just feel like this show is triggering to me, and I want to see some resolution. I love how Melody has glowed up and came up and been such an example for all of us, of women of all ages. And I just feel like, in that, other than that, there's not really a resolve like with everybody else's situation. I just feel like these people are allowed to bring up anything. They say anything. Kiki, you know, the whole drug situation. They didn't bring it on the show, but they insinuated, they had all these different conversations, and so Kiki and them was forced to kind of bring it out. And I just kind of feel like it's always something, and they're always getting their dirt swept under the rug. They're just not genuine. And so that's why I give it a 6. I just feel like it's not Carlos. He's not hammer. He's not going in. He's not making Tisha fess up to the stuff she's doing, or questioning her enough. I'm just, the conversation gets cut off, and I'm just like, God dang, Stormy was going in about the business and going in about, then he gonna pivot to something else. Oh, well, let's move on. No, we're not done. We want to see it. I'm just tired of that. And I feel the same way about Bill Collective in a way. I feel like that's kind of the same thing that he did with their reunion, not letting Latrice and Tamara speak. That's a different show. But I just feel like he's not unbiased enough. He's not neutral enough, or not. He has something going on with Tisha, with Marceau and Tisha and Martell, to where he allows them to get away with anything. And like the other panelist said, I'm tired of Kimmy too. I'm
Okay.
tired of Kimmy. I'm tired of Maurice. Kimmy, she does not like Melody. She is a hater. I mean, she is a hater from the 90s. I'm tired of her.
The 90s. Oh God, I can't breathe. Okay. Listen. Okay, you make some good points, child. I appreciate that. Um, okay. What else did you feel about who else had a good part? Like you were saying that you didn't really appreciate him cutting off Kiki, or there were some moments that Kiki was having. Now I saw someone in the comments said that, oh, right here, Golden Candy. She said that Kiki gets too emotional and then she's unable to articulate her thoughts. And I said that just a little bit ago when I was giving y'all the rundown. I said right
Mm,
now, she's still got her sea legs with the show, because Melody used to do that too. A lot of people used to do that. It takes you a minute to understand them cameras, okay? So I think we are expecting a lot more from her because she is sitting around veterans, but she doesn't know how to do that yet. If she is back on the show, hopefully she will have learned some things like hot mic and all of that good stuff, so that it won't, she won't get caught,
yeah.
because right now she's just being people are using her because they know that she doesn't know a whole lot more. But I do agree that she's right now, she's emotional. This stuff is happening to her in real time. She's hearing her cousin, who she probably thought, we can get over this, we can get past this. She's being put back in that place where she's being pigeonholed. And a lot of it, just to be honest, these are things that she may have heard before, because she has been fighting so long to get herself through recovery. No, not through recovery, because she's always going to be there, but just in places where she is healthier. And sometimes your family can say really mean things to you, thinking they're going to snap you out of something. And Tisha might have brought her into a bad space, because you can kind of see it wash over her in that scene. Like she's one way, and then the next second she has 100 thoughts racing through her head. You can see it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just one of those things. So I don't know. Sometimes she's not able to speak. Then when we heard her speaking, she was like, yeah, you a bitch. You are a bitch for doing what you did to me. And she was angry. So we know that she got upset and she ended up leaving the stage at that moment. But anywho, did you have anything else you wanted to add to this comment or to your
Yes,
thing? Okay.
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, I think that she needs to utilize some tools like a notebook or
Yes.
like Monique did on RHOP. Use something, get your thoughts organized. Maybe you should. I really want her to come back. I wish I could be there to just go in on these people for her for these things that they're doing, and just be like, I feel like there needs to be someone to interject into other. Why is it such a? I feel like Carlos makes it a big deal when someone is like, well, hold on, let me continue on with this. Let's go down this rabbit hole. He just cuts it off and it makes it seem like she's like misbehaving because she's saying something and he has to end the conversation. Like he needs to take some pointers from Andy Cohen because at least on Bravo, Andy Cohen they get to say a lot of things. They get their points out. They get to say a lot on these reunions. And I just feel like he needs to take some pointers. I know he's trying to be like Bravo Andy, and Andy's not the best, but I do tell you, I can show it's a big difference because they get to say a lot on these reunions, and on these reunions with Carlos, they don't. He's just, and that's what I'm tired of. So I feel like that's the main thing. Everybody not really being able to be heard, and the narratives just keep running. It's strange to me, but yeah.
Okay. So I appreciate your comments. Okay. I don't know how much of the Andy Cohen thing that you watch, because I always like to just say, if you are a fan of Bravo, if you watch those shows, like something that just happened recently, I don't know if you got a chance to see some of the stuff that was going on with Garcelle on Real Housewives. Did you see that?
No, I haven't really got into Beverly Hills, so no, I did not get to see.
Okay, there's a scene on the reunion, and I think this might have happened maybe if just last year reunion, where
Okay.
Garcelle is African American, and
Yep, I remember.
okay, and Garcelle's sons were being threatened, called all kinds of little nasty racist names, right? And she came onto that reunion, and she said some of the things that was being said made her feel like it came from one of her castmates. Do you recall that?
Yep, and it
Wow.
was.
That it came from one of
I
her
remember.
castmates.
I
I
remember.
want you to go back and watch it.
I remember.
Okay.
Go back
Okay.
and watch it if you did not, because the way Andy cuts her off and starts talking to those other ladies, her castmates, and literally like her feelings did not count. The things she was saying did not count. It was, I mean, the way the camera zoomed in on her face, because she was shocked, but it was hurtful. He came out and apologized afterwards because he realized how nasty it looked for her to sit here and say there was a woman by the name of Diane who I believe was fired right after that because it looked like it was coming from her computer, but she was doing all kinds of nasty little things to her and basically leaving her out of the chats when they would talk to each other as a cast. It was some really nasty, dirty dog tricks, and all of the racism stuff that they have already came out and said goes on those sets and on those shows, the Bravo shows.
Yeah.
It kind of added to that. So sometimes we give Andy Cohen a lot. He don't deserve as much as we give him,
You're right.
especially from Black women, because it happens to us the most, and we are the ones who help uplift that platform. We bring a lot of money over there. So just an FYI. Okay.
No, you're right. The good points, because he did. I mean, I guess I was just kind of thinking like more so on a lot of reunions. I see a lot of people getting to speak more, and it's more of a focus on each person, and they get to speak more, than I've seen.
when
But
she
you're
said
right about that.
my son was being attacked and that kid should be off limits, and I believe it's one of my castmates, he stopped her in the middle of her speech and turned over and looked at the other girls who was like, I can't believe she would ever think that, because we would never. He was like, okay, literally letting them say
Oh wow.
and cut her off like her feelings and her children did not matter. It was really, really repulsive. So I just want to put that out there. That was recent.
Yes.
That was
Oh my
intentional.
gosh.
Yeah, and that is real, Diana, with what he did. I had really liked his short, because he's very short. I see him ever so often because I'm in the West Village here, and he live in the area around here. I see him with his daughter, sometimes his son, and stuff like that. And it was a turn up after that incident. I was like, you know what? The next time I see him, I'm gonna ask him for a picture. That was it. I was like, hell no. Nope, nope. I don't need to be in your presence. I don't see your trifling rectum. Yeah.
I'm not calling him a racist, but he was definitely tone deaf.
Yeah.
That he should not have been. He did the same thing on Real Housewives of Potomac. People actually should step off during there was a conversation about colorism and light-skinned girls, dark-skinned girls. It was like there was no reason for you to be a part of that conversation because you are the wrong person to handle it. But I just want to say that because this is not about Bravo and them. I'm just saying sometimes we just don't want to give him as much as we give him. Okay, I'm going to read this comment real quick. Okay, and this is coming from L. Fisher. Thank you, Miss L, for blessing the channel. I appreciate you. She said, I agree because Carlos supporters, content creators, he should revamp the reunion by having a panel of CCs ask questions. Dyana, Sheba, Richie. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that comment. And I do want to say that a lot of what we see play out on these shows on Love and Marriage Huntsville does come from Dyana, Sheba, and Richie. Okay, they pay close attention to the things that we have said over here, and sometimes it's like, oh, I feel like I said that verbatim a couple of weeks ago or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it happens. But I'm sorry about that. Let's move on to the next. I hope I didn't lose anybody. You are welcome to stay on the panel, okay, girlfriend? And we are going to actually go to Girlfriend Chronicles. What is up? How are you?
I'm fine. I think somebody else was before me, whoever's in the red.
I'm so sorry. Lady D's Keys. Hey, Lady D's.
Hey, panel. Hey, Diana.
Hey.
Hey, hon.
My goodness, this show. Okay. I rated about a 7, 8. It was okay. My first issue was with Kimmy. When Nell came on, she was looking at her like, "Ooh, I can't stand you." I don't know if you guys noticed that or not, but she had a
who like that?
Nell.
Oh, looked at Kiki?
No, Nell Fletcher.
Oh, you're saying Kimmy looked at Nell. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead.
She looked at her like, "Ooh, I can't stand you." While she was looking at her like, "Ooh, why you here?" I don't know if you noticed that or not, but I was just like,
so.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, girl. Yeah, she is old. She probably about your age or a little bit older than you, somewhere up in there. She looked gorgeous. Nell did. But I don't like the way Martell was being disrespectful towards her, and the way Chris was just letting it happen. It's like, no, you need to check that brother. I don't care if you think of him as a brother. She think of him as a brother. I don't care. That is your elder. You're supposed to respect your elders. Because I was brought up in that age group where I was told, don't call nobody by their first name unless they say it's okay. If it's my peer, definitely it's okay. But if it's my elder, it's like, you miss so and so and so, Mr. So and so and so. You don't dare come out of character and talk to them any kind of way. Now, there is a difference though. If you come at me sideways, you get what you get.
Right.
So you ain't gonna come at me any kind of way. And she didn't come at him any kind of way. She was coming at him respectful until he got out of line.
That's true.
Started acting stupid. And so Martell is disrespectful anyway. And I'm gonna move on to Tisha and myself. Okay. They getting on my nerve. They've been getting on my nerve since the first season. And I've been watching this first season. They've been getting on my nerve. Tisha is non-accountable. She don't take any accountability. She is acting like she ain't do nothing to Kiki. Oh, I ain't doing nothing. You were supposed to stay out my marriage. But how she gonna stay out your marriage when you're going to her and asking her to get some information for you.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly, and in my opinion, she went to Kiki and asked her to get that information, to find out all the information you can to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she went to call you and you didn't answer your phone, what you thought was going to happen?
Right.
And then at the barbecue, you really ignored the girl. And
Right.
you spoke to her husband, but you didn't speak to her. No, you ain't gonna speak to my husband and not speak to me. Oh, girl, bye. You you ain't go. You might not get what you got from Kiki, but you gonna get some. You stupid, just like Kiki said. And she should have left it at that, but she didn't. She tossed that water in her face or whatever it was. Hey, I still don't have a problem with what she did.
Okay,
She
girl.
she might have not should have did it, but she did it. And I was glad she did it because she deserved it a little bit.
Okay,
You can't be disrespectful and think it's not gonna come back to you.
that's true.
So, and who else was it?
That's very true.
Stormi and Courtney
Mm-hmm.
and Miss Betty, whatever her name is. Girl, bye. I'm sick of Stormi's mama. All that drama that she caused between Mel and Stormi, that could have been squashed. It shouldn't even happen.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if whoever taped it, the conversation from whatever in her house, she didn't say it was Stormi. She
Right.
just said it was a conversation tape that shouldn't have been taped.
Yeah, it's so crazy that they just thought it was them. I don't know. I don't know. There was,
And
there
it's,
was a better way to handle it. And for as
yeah,
much as they're trying to blame Mel, they definitely added to it. It didn't have to be that.
right. And that's the thing. It's like, girl, Miss Betty, you gotta look. You gotta do your investigation a little bit better than what you did it, because that's what I'm saying by disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
When the elder come at you the way she was coming at Mel,
Mm-hmm.
she got what she got, and she deserved to get what she get,
Okay.
because you came at the girl wrong, and she said she was trying to be respectful towards you, and she said she didn't have a problem with you, but you got a problem with her.
Correct.
So you get what you get, and you got what you got. So girl, bye, and don't come back on the stage
Okay.
looking halfway crazy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
You welcome, girl.
I love you, Miss Lady.
I love you too, girl. We still gotta do our review.
Well, we do.
You know, you know I ain't forget.
I didn't forget you. I didn't forget you. I got episode 10 and 11. I got it under the belt. Don't worry about it. I got you. Okay,
Okay,
so
girl.
we are going to go to Girlfriend Chronicles.
Good evening, Diana and panel and chat.
Welcome.
What do I rate? I give it a negative.
Uh-oh.
It's a negative. I had to take a point off for everybody on that stage. I took a point off for everybody on that stage except
Okay.
for Mel and Nail.
Hit me with all of it. What was your problems, girl? Go, run it.
Go. Let's ready, set, go. I've been sitting up here. I'm gonna start with Carlos. Carlos is a despicable being. He promotes toxicity. He
Mhm.
promotes messiness. He
Mhm.
promotes ignorance.
Mhm.
Preach.
I can't do Carlos. I just looking at him in that suit, just buffoonery. He allows buffoonery on his set.
Mhm.
I had to give it a negative because I had to take a point off. He even brought the ratings down, the points down for me. Betty, dog face demon, Betty. She just I respect my elders. I'm a double PK. So I respect my elders.
Uh-huh.
Um was I don't know, am I giving feedback? Is that me?
there. Yeah, you got a little something going on your phone.
Oh, let me see. You sure that's my phone?
Everyone else, make sure that you are muted, please. Okay, it stopped.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Um, um, I respect my elders. I respect my elders who earn respect. But if you bring in smoke, you're gonna have to inhale that smoke, because you can't talk to me crazy and think I'm not gonna talk to you crazy back.
Mm-hmm.
It was a day and time when we used to respect our elders, but our elders also didn't come at us crazy. It was a learning lesson with our of how they talked to us and treated us and made, you know what I mean. Even if they was talking to us crazy, they it was the way they did it to us. Betty was just speaking from jealousy, envy, spite, bitterness, disgust, evilness, demonicness, just
Mm-hmm.
misery,
All the things.
everything from the pits of hell from whence she came from.
You better say it.
Um, that's what she gave,
Yeah, it was
and
unnatural.
yeah, and I see why. Like they said, I see why. Um, Lisa don't want to be bothered with her, because she probably has been treating her like how she been treating her since she was a kid. And then when her daughter got a little bit of change, she thought that she was better. And then she even thought that she was better with Stormi. What happened with, what is his name, Junior? When Stormi bailed out Junior, she tried to throw that in her face. And even by Betty, while she was on stage and Junior sitting up here getting his little accolades of him being a little manager at where he at. And Betty said, "Nah, stay there." You know, Stormi was like, I wish you come back. She was like, "Nah, stay where you at. Stay where you at." You know, like, you
Oh,
don't.
wow.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't.
that's her family.
Right. So I see no difference between her and how Wanda and them treats Kiki. Like, y'all thought Tisha was better because she's on this show. She got a little bit of change, and y'all became to think that she was better than Kiki. So now y'all treat Kiki like she the stepchild, the step whatever y'all feel like she was treated like. Um I just don't like, I ain't never liked Betty. She just came on looking just wicked and evil. Junior sitting up there looking like he needs to blow a trumpet and go on with the HBCU band with Martell. I don't even know why they was on stage. It was unnecessary. Carlos promotes toxic. He loves toxic people that come on to go at male, and I don't like that. That's
Mm,
why I don't see it for Carlos. Betty done sat, like Stormi said, Betty done sat up there on social media. You just, not all things, what is it? Sometimes in garbage, out garbage.
mm-hmm.
It depends on what she was looking at. If she was looking at nothing but toxic social media pages, that's all she was bringing on to the set. I mean, nothing positive has she
Mm-hmm.
ever portrayed to me in regards to even her own daughter. Like, she looking at her daughter like just with a stank face. They both got a stank face.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on from her, I don't even know why she was up there. That laugh told me everything. Like I said, um, Kiki, I pray Kiki's recovery. I pray Kiki get it together. I hope she do come back. I hope she come back and give them what they deserve. Like, I mean, you can't spray me with my business and think I'ma hold it in. Like, girl, you gonna let them come and tell even your third secret, whatever the third is, whatever, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Do it before they do it, because apparently it must be something out there. And
Mm-hmm.
Tisha, you coming up there like you Floyd Mayweather with that little boxing little robe on, and you and your dumb looking husband sitting up there with the same little matching outfits and stuff. You know, go ahead on and say what y'all gonna say. Get it out. Y'all done told the girl about the little rug bit, her rug addiction. Y'all done said a thing about her infidelity between her and her husband. Put it out there. Y'all done put everything else out there. How much worse can the next thing be, other than, I don't know what else could it be? And I think
Mm-hmm.
Marceau was sitting up on stage trying to be brag about it with Kiki because her husband wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
But you see how he ran around Kimmy in them backyard when Armin was on set. Like, so you know what I mean? Like you sassy as he is, sassy so because you sitting up there staying in women's business. Like, stop it, dude. Like, I can't stand. That's why I gave a negative because everybody on that stage except for Mel and Nell irked my spirit this whole season. Chris, you need to be called Sassy Chris or Chrissy Kid, whatever, Chris, because Chris, you're sitting up there. You just as you're no better than, well, he is better than Marceau. But there's no way you're gonna sit up there and allow another man. I don't care, brother, cousin, niece, nephew, whatever. You're not gonna allow any man to be disrespectful to your woman, because then to me that kind of I don't want to say punked you out, whatever the word is that you can use, kind of, bullied you in a kind of way because you didn't even address him appropriately. There's no way you allow any man to talk to your wife crazy, especially when you're not around. And then for him to do it in your face, Martell must got something on all of the men that they allow him to talk to them and their wives as disrespectful as he does. There's no way. Martell should have been chin checked forever. Every episode he need to be chin checked by somebody because he's disrespectful to every female that is on there except for Kimmy. I ain't seen him get jazzy with Kimmy or Stormi, I don't think, or Kiki. He ain't really showed, or he nail and Male, because they're the only ones that challenge him. Everybody else kissing his tail. Kimmy, they so irrelevant. I'm so sick of Kimmy. Kimmy and Lemonhead. I don't even know why Credit Karma Kimmy is even, like, why she don't like Mel or Nell, because Nell, I think she know Nell them is got more storyline in them, and Kimmy probably afraid for her job. That's why Kimmy tried to buck at Nell when Nell came to her office about the little show that they had. So Kimmy been disliking Nell. So
We
Kimmy
have
being,
problems with all new people. All new people
yeah,
get
yeah.
gets
Yeah,
snubbed.
like she hazing them or something. She just disgusting individual, and I think she's miserable in her marriage, so she just she deal with it. She got the side trick year award to me as well. Um, Stormi and Courtney, they just sat there like they just got done taking an edible, so I don't know what to say about them.
Oh my gosh.
And Kiki, again with Kiki, I wish she just really get it together and bring it like she need to. I understand her want to have a relationship with somebody, but ain't nobody gonna give me they tail as much and embarrass me on TV as much as Tisha has. And I'ma keep begging to keep licking it. I'm just over it. Like, go Kiki, go on about your business. Like you was talking about her crazy. Go on and keep doing it and move on from it. Cause they ain't gonna do nothing but go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until they both out of breath.
Okay. Well, let's see what everybody else is thinking. I think we got 2 people left. Yes, I think I have Simone. I appreciate you, Girlfriend Chronicles,
Thank
for
you.
sharing. Girlfriend Chronicles says she gives it a negative, not even a 0. Okay, a negative.
I'm with her.
So, let's see. My next person is Sharon W. Hi, Sharon.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
I'm gonna give a 7 to the Fletchers, Melody and Martell when they were talking among each other.
Okay,
The rest
so
of
you
the people
like
are
the
zeros.
Fletchers
The rest
and
of the people are zeros.
oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
So let's go to the to that conversation they had. I think that Melody came out and said exactly what she told Chris. Think at the time the Hopes and the Fletchers, they were friends. The Fletchers were their mentors, marriage mentors, talking to them everything above. and they went through it. They saw everything go. They saw everything, how the couple evolved, their family. Nell came out and said, you're gonna lose your family," and I'm so glad that she said that Chris used to be a Martell. And
Yeah.
that helps a lot, because that's explained. That's okay. Now we can see the difference in Chris, from the watching it. And
Yeah.
I knew it was something like that going on a couple seasons ago. That it sounded like to me like Chris was like a Martell. Before we knew that, we knew he cheated, but we didn't know in depth with how much he cheated. But for me, it seemed like Chris was like more like a Martell. That before Nell said anything. But I'm glad that she very clarified that she did. I like the fact that Melody, like, regardless of the conversation, Martell shouldn't be being women faces. And Martell, I think, for me, my point of view about Chris been with Martell and Melody for so many years. Chris know Martell personality, know his wife got backbone, and I think if Martell put her hands on her, it'd be a different story. I'm being honest, but I think that Chris, he's not gonna deal with Martell because he know Martell is like, and he know he's at the end of the day, if him and Chris get involved, Chris gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's how Chris look at things. And if it was going too far, Nell would definitely have told Chris more. If she felt threatened or she felt scared and not up there, it'd be a different story. Because they've been together so long. That's my opinion about that. And Martell, same story, and don't mean nothing. Then I'm gonna miss Tiffany. Tiffany brought in my opinion, in the first season, you first met her and everything. She brought in more tactfulness, how she handled the female conversations. I like the fact that when she stumped Kimmy sometimes, like, what do you say? Like you insulted me or something? Or did you say this? Or like that kind of stuff? I love when Tiffany done that. I love when Tiffany do that. Because instead of being like Kimmy, she would say, like, remember she said, "Well, Melody, you bought some, you had a massage," like that, and her hands. I don't like that when Kimmy does that. I missed the part when, again, I think Tiffany had a short time with Melody because Destiny got involved. Remember, Destiny said, "Why are you more friends with her? Why are you protecting her? Why are you always defending her?" All that stuff there. So that, I think, Brooke and Tiffany backed away from Melody. Then we found later on Destiny only be around a Melody, so she could tell Martell what's going on. Allegedly.
Right.
Right. Allegedly. Tisha. I think Tisha, in my opinion, Tisha and Kiki, every time Kiki and Tisha together, Tisha always come with agenda. It wasn't sincere. Now, and I understand, and for me, a couple of times I see Kiki have her guard up a little bit with Tisha when they're alone themselves. But then Tisha always come with agenda. She always gonna be the big person or something. And she'll have no problem telling people who's cheating. Your husband cheated on you, but every time someone bring up to her attention, she needs to see pictures. She needs to see him actually doing it, all that stuff. So I'm not too thrilled with Tisha. And yes, you're right. It was Melody and Kiki. Kiki brought up what was said to Melody about her drug use. However, before the show aired or started, Marcel and Tisha told Melody and Martell about her drug use. And then Kiki trying to get Tisha to apologize what she told the hosts. And Tisha would never come out and say, "Well, I'm sorry that I told them you had a drug problem." Because really it started there. But Tisha went around it all kind of ways in bar one.
Right.
I mean, not bar one, in Black.
So listen, we're definitely just going to rehash that.
Yeah.
I I got to get a name for it, but it might start tomorrow, to be honest. But we're gonna start rehashing these seasons because they're still here. Listen, 7 seasons. We have been on a roller coaster ride. Okay.
Yeah. And then Marcel, I think that he kind of know he's a big dog now, because Martell messing up. So I'm hearing Marcel put a little 2 cents in here and 2 cents there. We, Tisha, that's Tisha's fault. Allowing Marcel and her relationship between her and her cousin. That's Tisha's fault.
Yeah, the little back and forth with Tisha and Carlos, where Carlos was like, listen, and he was low key shading her. He was like, you are sitting here accusing your wife of cheating when you know she stood beside you through all of the rumors, all of the stuff people have come at her. She even said that the only way she would even believe it is if God came down and spoke to her personally. All that.
But see, I don't have something for Tisha. She remind me of women who does. She remind me of women who need to get an STD or HIV. Then she believe it. You know, that's the person she is. I'm sorry, that's how I feel. Because I met those kind of women in the military. I met the women who in the military lifestyle. They husband, they know their husband cheating. But as long as I don't see it, I'm fine with it. That's fine with me. And you have that open marriage. But don't sit there and act a fool with everybody else and telling everybody else their business. Like she told Melody, your man was cheating, telling Kiki man was cheating, asking the Fletchers. But here you are not saying anything. Now you're a man, the same man sitting next to you, telling you he would divorce you if you did came up pregnant.
Yeah, when she said God spoke to her, I think it was Kimmy who looked at her like, well, bitch, I know you heard it because I heard it, right? I heard him talk to you. So it is what it is. But yes. Okay. So we have almost been up here for about 2 hours. But I appreciate you, Miss Sharon. Thank you for coming up. We're going to move on to Miss Ty, have her close us out. What is your thoughts on today's stuff, Miss Ty?
Well, I was waiting on this and somebody called me, even though I told you what I told you in the email, but that's besides the point. I'm not going to take long because every one of the panelists did a great job with saying some of the stuff that I want to say. I want to also say hashtag sassy soul. I like that.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just read what Juana Berg just said. She said, Tasha K just released that Martell is at her house giving her an interview right now, and she showed him on camera. So we will be hearing Martell's side of things.
Martell ain't got no damn side.
The lies.
Regarding we are going to be talking about this.
Oh, hell no.
But this man is now at Tasha K's house.
Good. Revoke his probation.
Okay. I'm gonna have everybody mute up, and we are going to let Ty finish what she had to say. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I just wanted to say, first of all, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. I'm not gonna stay too long. Like I said, everybody on the panel, hit the note. Sassy Soul, hashtag that. Every time y'all see him, Sassy Soul, please.
Sassy Soul.
Right. I think Miss Betty is a beast and not in a good way. Tisha and Marcel did a lot of lying. The lies was falling out their mouth like old teeth. Okay.
Like old teeth.
Old teeth. Okay. Also, maybe 2 or 3 people said, I respect my elders and, and that's fine. Me, however, I respect everyone who respects me. Whatever energy you give me, that's the same energy I'm going to give you back. 8 to 80 buying, crippled or crazy. It doesn't matter. I want everybody to remember, because a lot of people, I like Courtney, this and that and the third. Yeah, that's cool. But I want people to remember how he handled Black Titanic on that video. He was ready to square up with Miss Black Titanic. I don't want people to forget that.
Courtney. Where's Miss Black? I gotta go over there and talk to Miss Black Titanic.
You don't remember that? You don't remember when she was?
What? I didn't watch the whole video. I saw, because I don't like to really watch people act a fool like that. I saw Black Titanic when I was watching her. I could tell that her friend, I don't know who that lady is. Is that her sister
Her friend.
or her friend? I could tell that her friend got caught up in, what's her name? Stormi's energy. Because Black Titanic was really cool.
Yeah, but that's
And she was like, calm down to her friend to get her to, you two are both. I didn't even feel like it was Black Titanic at that moment. I thought it was just her friend and Stormi. And I actually turned it off after that because I was like, well, damn, Black Titanic is actually saying, I'm sorry, I'm cool. I need you to calm down to her friend so that she can, make the situation okay. And it felt like things got out of control because of that. When I
Oh
was
no. Things were they was threatening them first, and that's why Black Titanic's friend said, "Oh, hold up.
That's right. That's
You ain't
right.
gonna call us another B and threaten us one more time." And she defended them.
That's right.
They
Miss Black
came out
Titanic.
with the threats and the sprawl and the words first.
Miss Black Titanic is
Stormi
not
and them
about that
did.
fussing. She don't argue. She's an investigative journalist. She don't do all that back and forth. So she had somebody with her who wasn't about that life, and she took over. Even though, like I said, Miss Black Titanic, she's not about that life, but I'm glad she had somebody there with her. Just like I agree with the panelists who said should have been there with Kiki, because Marceau was acting real tough titty, says the kitty. You understand me?
Mhm.
And like somebody said in the comments, security, Nola, security was there. So of course Kiki ain't gonna run up and jump up. They don't do that on that platform, that particular platform right there. They don't do that. They don't run up and jump the fight. They don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear a lot of people saying Carlos shouldn't host a reunion. And I get it. A lot of people don't like Carlos. He don't get to everything. I get it. But who else will be able to handle them and host that reunion and ask questions?
I'm gonna say this, Ty. I'm sorry to interrupt you. What people forget is that they don't talk. The only person who can get them to talk is the person who knows the shit. But
Carlos, right.
When Carlos came, they all got nervous. When Egypt was there, it was one of the cutest reunions ever.
Baby, they was talking over people. They was ignoring what she was saying. They wasn't listening to her. So yeah, and we got to remember that this
They know
reunion
how to play people.
is
All of
like in a time frame. So it's a lot of stuff that they can't get to, because they have to move on to other things. But I also heard you was talking about, when you was talking about the Garcelle situation, and that pissed me off. And you're right. Some people do, because I'm not part of those people. Some people do give Andy too much. It's not me. Because after how he did with the Nene thing, it's been over for him ever since.
Yeah, he really has his moments where he's very, very, he's awful. He's tone deaf to a lot of
racist. Go on and say it. I'm gonna say it for you. In my own opinion, racist. Just like Nene said, nobody won't believe her. Racist.
And he pretends not to be. And unfortunately, sometimes when I'm watching and I see like the Black women in particular, it's only us too, because the Black men that come on his show, when he has Black men guests, they check the hell out of Andy Cohen. And I don't care if they're sitting behind that bar with the wine or doing their little bartending thing, or they're in the seat. If he says something out of pocket, they will let him have it. I've seen it at least 4 or 5 times. We don't do that though. And I don't know why. It gets really hilarious. But anyway, sorry about that.
That's okay. Have your point, because I love it. How and let me see. Also too, Kimmy. Somebody said, who was that? That wasn't LaDawn. Somebody said Kimmy and Hips. That's what Kimmy and Hips and Lemon Drop. Kimmy is an asshole, like straight to the A to the SS hole, right?
Damn.
You sitting here jeffing for Martell, even when you think you're not jeffing for, or you trying to act like you're not jeffing for Martell, and so who else? Somebody in the comment, I think it was Kevin, with the always looking for the got you mail moment, which she fall flat every time, because you look just like what the people say. You're a side chick. You take up for the side chicks. You male identify. All that is seen through your actions. And I wanted to say, when I first got on, I'm so glad now people are coming around to see that Kimmy has always been a stink. I said from season 1 when she told Mel she was bougie. That really hurt Mel's feelings, and I didn't like it at all, period.
Mhm.
They had never been to her house on the ride up there. Well, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm waiting for these past season reviews when you come back with that. And we definitely got to get into
So
every act.
it's
from the
going to be a
beginning.
discussion. We're going to go through these season discussion, like what happened with what. And I really want the panel to join in. We are going to make this a good break until the show comes back on, okay? And I'm not even joking either. And I might start as soon as tomorrow. And I have to get a name for it, but we're going to get it started.
You're gonna have to start tomorrow because it's 6 seasons and it's about I know the first season, if I'm not mistaken, got like 18 episodes.
And this is solely because we all have really different opinions. Some of us really different opinions about things. And I know we won't all agree because, we're different. We're not
But
all.
I appreciate that, so we
But
can
if
be
we
on
can
the same page.
all listen to people's perspectives about certain things, it will just help a great deal because we just get so out of whack right now. Because there's a lot of people, a lot of brilliant people, by the way, who is reporting on this, and I know that people go from panel to panel, but I've not had an opportunity to do this part, so I wanted to do that with y'all. Okay.
Okay, and I know you've been up here for 14 hours, so I'm gonna bid my good night. I love all y'all. I'm happy that we have this panel because there's so many people that come on this panel and tell their stories, and I'd be just like, oh my goodness. And they brave. I love that. I really wish they would allow Kiki to tell her own story, but the hate is real.
Yeah.
And I want to also say too, Tisha, last episode reunion number 2 when somebody said something to Tisha about they was close or they came on close. Tisha, we seen when Kiki was at that goddamn picnic park barbecue, whatever it was, going at Kimmy on your behalf. So don't act like you and Kiki was never that close. Don't do that.
Right.
The fact when Kiki said you're a lying ass B, that was from reunion 2 after they said that she was a streetwalker or something like that. That was a cut from reunion 2. They just happened to play it tonight.
Right. Exactly.
And that's about it. I'm glad this is over because my nerves was shot, because they was doing too damn much. But I'm eager to get to the season pass so we can get through that and really delve into what really happened and who really said what and how it came about and who really brought it to the table. It was Tisha and Marcel brought Mel and Martell's infidelity to that goddamn anniversary dinner.
Listen,
Yes, they did.
when we talk about all of it, I mean, even the behind the scenes stuff that we know now, we're going to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about how the show started. We're going to talk about, remember Marceau said that the show was supposed to be about them doing as friends in business together. And then he got the email saying, this is the new name of the show. And he was like, he said he wrote Carlos King a scathing email saying, I didn't want to participate in this shit. I don't want to talk about my marriage. I'm bad at marriage. I only wanted to do it if we were doing this. So we want to talk about all the trickery that led up to it. Like why, like some of this stuff, it's glaring and in our face. And we have, sometimes you get really connected to one person in that storyline and we're missing some of the other stuff, like the Galentine's mess, how everybody was at the table. It felt like we were getting this completely different story. Why is it to this very day? Because I just have heard some other stuff about what went down at Melody's pajama party. And they were saying, everybody was thinking, well, Kiki, why did Kiki come on the show as Mel's guest? And she was horrible talking about Tisha's marriage. She didn't say anything about Tisha's damn marriage, right?
That was Kimmy lying ass brought that bullshit back to them like that.
Right.
Kimmy's a messy
I
ass
actually found
bitch.
out something else, which I did talk about in membership and the members only, but I'm going to talk about it on the front panel too. We're going to talk about all these little things that didn't make air. Okay. Didn't make air. And then we're seeing people blow up about something that actually it was all camera tricks. It had nothing to do with that, all the way to what we are dealing with now with Kiki, how they blasted her on stage, all the stuff about the Home Depot mess that they end up putting on the show. So we're going to talk about it. Okay, we're going to get there. And, you know, again, we're not all going to agree, but I think it's good just to hear people's perspective and how we are where we are in our beliefs and thinking, especially when we have so many people that's like, you know, feeling uncomfortable about the show or want to, you know, black out the show or write petitions to get the show off the air. I want us to think about all of the things that we've learned throughout these seasons and why we are where we are today, including Egypt Sherrod hosting the first season. And she was upset when she didn't get asked back.
She don't need to be back.
She was upset.
Good.
She made a
Stay where you
statement about it. We're going to talk about that too. From first episode to last reunion, we're talking about it. Okay. So that's it, y'all. I appreciate y'all as always. I say this every single time we go live. I mean it. I have an excellent panel of women who come up and talk. I wish some men would come up too, because I know you guys are watching. But women who come up, you guys are smart, you're funny. You give us a lot of information and insight on things. Thank you to everybody in the chat, all of my moderators, the women and the men. Okay, I know I got some men moderators, so thank y'all for helping the chat bump. Y'all always keep us going over here. Thank you to everyone who donated to the channel. Fletcher. Let's see if I got some cash apps. Thank y'all. And that's pretty much it. The membership is up. The link is working. I saw that a couple of people had become a member. A few more people had become a member earlier today. So thank y'all. I appreciate it. And then I'm going to have you guys drop down so I can say goodbye to everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Good night. Thank you. Love y'all.
Thank you. I appreciate every single one of y'all for coming up here. Okay. And talking to us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. What else is going on? I see Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Yes, he is. He always comes over and helps out. Great chat. Love you guys. All right. That's pretty much it. Y'all know what to do on your way out. Hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, become one. Okay. Especially since we are going to have these great conversations. We're going to get to the real. No one is going to be spared. We are having true and honest conversations about everything. Okay. From the beginning to the end. This involves producers, Carlos King, all the players on the show, all the reunions. We're going to just dissect it, okay? But outside of that, I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share this video, and I will check you all on the next one, okay? Bye-bye.